Would you fly in this gyroplane? This is the Magni M24 Orion, an experimental hybrid that has a lot of unique features, like the fact that it's both airplane and a helicopter. In this video, we'll be talking to a skilled pilot that mastered this gyroplane. We'll talk about the incredible features that it has and compare it to both airplane and a helicopter. Then we'll strap in and take it up for a flight. So welcome on board and let's go flying. What's up everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel to this exciting new series where I showcase all kinds of aircraft. If you want to showcase an airplane here on the First Gen Pilot YouTube channel, click on the link in the description down below right now to sign up and we'll make it happen. Make sure to hit like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more of this series. Last video, we had the opportunity to fly the Velocity XL5 and you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. So make sure you go check out that video if you haven't done so yet. Today's video, we have a gyroplane, which I'm really excited to go check out as well. It's piloted by Ron Hemmer, a skilled pilot that transitioned from the fixed wing world.
So the transitioning I'm making ways to is agricultural aviation, like helicopter crop dusting.
What can you tell me about the gyroplane that we have behind us here? What makes it both airplane and a helicopter?
Well, obviously we got a Magni 24 gyroplane. It's an Orion. It's got a nice glass panel in it. But to the point of your question, obviously we got a pusher prop on it.
Okay.
So as we see on airplanes, they got a propellers, which this one does, and then just like a helicopter, we've got the rotor system up here.
Okay.
So it does fly like an airplane because you have to use the pusher prop to actually get the machine rolling down and forward motion.
Yeah.
But the rotor system actually is different from a helicopter, as a helicopter's rotor system is powered, you know, either through the piston engine or through the turbine engine, where this one uses the principle of auto rotation. So as you're going, let's say down the runway or you're going in the sky, the pusher prop's actually pushing the gyroplane forward, and the relative wind's actually coming up into the rotor system and actually keeping the rotor system spinning.
Okay.
So that produces the lift on it.
Right.
So it acts like an airplane, but it flies like a helicopter. Okay. So if there's any pilots that want to learn either one, it's a great kind of a transition to go from airplane into helicopter.
When it comes to the rules, then you said it's a little bit both helicopter and an airplane. So when it comes to the regulations, which ones are you following?
So I end up following. So this is something that I learned really early on with the gyroplane. It can actually, let's say, just take example, flying in the pattern. Okay. So we're coming in an airport. The gyroplane can actually do right pattern or left pattern. It can do 1,000 feet, you know, typically what we do for entry for fixed wing aircraft, or, you know, you're at 500 feet. It really boils down to what kind of airport are you coming into. If it's a really heavy training airport, maybe we're right at the 1,000-foot elevation. Or if I'm calling out ahead, I'm at 500 feet. Your question really is how does that differ, you know, the rules and stuff? Yep. So we have a lot of more latitude on it. One, because we're slower. One, we're a little more nimble on it. But the other things that you can do with this, now if you got to have permission, you can land on taxiways. Okay. All right. I haven't landed on taxiways yet, but you can land on taxiways. Obviously, for the Towered Airport, you got to have permission to do that. You just can't go do that stuff.
Exactly.
You know, and again, on just general aviation, you know, Class G airports or uncontrolled airports, you got to make sure about that stuff. So a great story on that one is my instructor that I learned down in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. We came in one day. It was crazy windy. I mean, crazy windy. So we maxed out the crosswind component on the gyro. Yeah. This was a great short field landing. Yeah. We came in and we landed crossways on the runway. So we were cleared for the runway.
Right.
But why would you put yourself in that position where you could like run off the runway from the crosswinds? So we came, so if you had a heavy crosswind, we just lined up with the crosswind and landed sideways on the runway.
Wow.
We were still cleared for the runway.
Yeah.
Now that was all pitch power. You had to do it right.
Yeah.
And we were able to stop like that. But that's one thing that you can do. You can't do that with an airplane.
You cannot, no.
Okay. So what that means is that remember when you were doing airplane and you're learning that, hey, if the crosswinds are too heavy or something isn't right, fly to your alternate?
Yep.
Well, I would still say that's true with this, but you have more options. Maybe you can do, come into the crosswind.
Yep.
On the runway.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an option on that.
Okay.
Just anybody watching, just make sure that safety is key.
Yeah,
okay?
for sure.
Safety is key.
And like with everything that flies, I guess.
That's exactly right. Just because you can, should you?
No.
Okay.
Right. Also, like when we talk about the cost of this thing, how much would it run you if you were looking to the market to buy one right now?
So if you're, they range, like this one here, they can range anywhere from 30,000, maybe 15,000 for something really super basic. I mean, you're sitting, you'd be sitting in an open cockpit seat, all the way up to 130, 140, 180,000.
Yeah.
And like Magni offers ones that are fuel injected. This one's carbureted. I think the one that's fuel injected is like 150 horse. So you can have super big performance.
Yeah.
It really boils down to what is really your mission? Are you just taking this to go fishing? Are you going to do some cross country with this? Are you time building?
Yeah.
Is it just something for leisure? So what do you really want to accomplish with it? So there's a huge wide range.
Okay.
Of just like with airplanes. But for me, I spent in the range of 70,000 on it.
Okay.
I have some history with it,
Yeah.
so I had flown it before. But the maintenance on it, it's got a Rotax engine in it. It is experimental, so you actually can do some of the work yourself.
Yep.
Me personally, I will take it to somebody that I know that works on almost exclusively Magni to do the maintenance on that. The maintenance has been pretty simple. It's nothing really crazy. Again, take care of it. It'll take care of you.
Exactly.
All right.
I agree, yeah. And then let's talk about the handling capabilities of this thing. What is that like if you're compared to helicopter and an airplane since you've been in both?
So obviously the helicopters are going to be way more nimble than this. I mean, helicopters can vertically take off.
Yep.
They can vertically land. Obviously, I'm really making that simple.
Yeah.
But the same thing with this one, so some of the capabilities with it, you can do 180-degree turns just like that. It's all airspeed and just step on the rudder.
Yep.
So it is very maneuverable.
Okay. So let's talk about the transitioning of this thing. I mean, as I understand, Ron, you were a regular fixed wing pilot, went to the rotorcraft world. So what is that like, and kind of the training wise and like the transitioning? What is that really like?
So when I want to be a helicopter cropter. That's what I was geared for, and I stuck in the fixed wing world because it was cheaper than helicopter initially, and I just went all the way to CFII in the fixed wing. And I said, I'm going to reapply myself to get that helicopter. And like I was telling you before, I went to a flight school. They were charging me a bunch of money for a helicopter. I never had enough money for it. There's always, I got money, but it all seemed to be running. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So I went online, found the gentleman down in Cape Girardeau, and what was great about it, we went the first flight.
Okay.
First flight. And we're down in Cape Girardeau. If anybody's been down in Cape Girardeau, it's right along the Mississippi River. Other side is Illinois, and they've got all these levees. And we take off, and we head right over to a levee. And we are flying at 5 feet off the ground.
Why?
90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like flipping out because I'm like, oh my God, there's a power line there.
We're so low.
No, we're so low. And he's like, and the instructor's like, it's not big. He just pulls up gently.
Yeah.
We just pull up, he steps on the rudder, and we just flipped around like that.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked. So the transition was really simple because I had flown some tail wheels. The stick, was very similar on it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that different. And coming from the tail wheels, and it goes back to for training, like when you're learning to train for fixed wing, everybody says more right rudder, more right rudder, more right rudder.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in the gyros. Make sure that your feet are on the rudder and you're doing what you need to do. So the transition was really simple for me.
Yeah.
But if I was going from zero, had no flight experience at all, I think it wouldn't be too terribly different or too terribly hard, just because it's that's all you know.
Yeah.
So when you come from the fixed wing jumping in this, you don't want these bad habits that have snuck in.
Yeah.
So I think what helped me is did the fixed wing, then did the tail wheel, then did the ag, and then you just kind of kept building up to it.
For sure.
So but just for somebody starting to get into it, it is really, really simple. And I started out in the gyro, and I got my sport pilot rating first.
Okay.
And then I worked towards my commercial gyroplane rating.
Nice.
So
yeah.
Yeah,
this sounds like super exciting aircraft. I'm actually really excited to go up and actually try this thing. So you ready to go fly?
I am ready. I'm ready to take you up there. Sounds good.
Yeah, let's go have some fun.
Okay, perfect.
Mankato Regional Airport.
So you taxi with just the back one?
Automated weather
Yeah, so you taxi at the back one, and then there's a hook here that holds the rotor system forward.
Okay.
At 0.
So then I got the rotor brake on. I'll make a call here.
Mankato Traffic Experimental 706 Tango Mike, departing the FBO to taxiway Alpha to runway 15 Mankato.
Yeah, so what ends up happening here is that I got the rotor brake on, so the rotor's not turning.
Yep.
And then this there's a cable here that holds the stick all the way forward to keep the rotor blade level. And if it doesn't, what could happen is that rotor blade could start flapping.
Okay.
And you don't want it to hit the ground because that would be very, very, very bad.
Yes.
And I can't do a run up until I get to 55 degrees on the oil.
Cool.
That's what the manufacturer says.
Yeah.
All right, which way are they going?
They should be pulling through there. Clear on this side.
And you get the V speeds there, so
Yeah.
55.
They got a checklist just on there.
Yep, got the
Pretty nice.
checklist on. And that really is just so you're not having to hold on to everything. And it's nice to have the PFD. It said 2980. 65 is the magic number in here. That's why they got that. So 65. You can almost do everything at 65.
Okay. And then what do you rotate at then?
Well, you can rotate early, but I usually rotate at 65, and it isn't. It's not a pull back like that right away. It's just nice gentle into it.
Okay. It looks like we're in a low ride.
Yeah. Wait till we take off. It'll be something else.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because you got the full doors, the whole bit.
Yeah, we can see down and.
Is there I can't remember. Is there a holding area up and down there, or is it just here?
There's here we can do a holding bay. Right
yeah, we're
here.
gonna do the holding bay here.
Yep.
And the nice thing about this too, it takes up hardly any hangar space. So I'm in a hangar over in Lakeville that has two planes in it, and this thing is 30 feet long with the rotor,
Okay.
and it's only like 6.5 feet wide.
Wow.
So it takes up no space.
Yeah.
Should we ask him if he wants to race? We want to be them when we grow up.
Yeah.
That's what we want to be. I'm going to put on this.
Okay.
6 mile final ILS 33, low approach Mankato.
What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. Next, Friday, Saturday? Not so much.
Yeah, it's going bad again.
That's okay.
Yeah, not too bad. At least summer's coming in.
Yeah.
A little bit by a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We get up to hold short line. We will take the rotor brake off, make sure the choke's off. All right, so choke's off, brakes off. I don't see anybody in the pattern, do we?
There's one guy right there, but I think he's on. I don't know what he's doing. He was on the ILS earlier. I wonder if he's circling or.
Yeah, he's circling with the 1.5, isn't he? He was on the ILS for 2. Was that the cap?
No. Oh,
Oh.
they're climbing out of here.
Right.
I don't think they're.
Mankato Traffic Experimental Gyroplane 706 Tango Mike, departing runway 15 Mankato.
All right, so we're going to take this off. We're going to actually start giving some pre-rotation here a little bit.
We're taxiing back to maintenance.
Now we got her going a little bit. If you want to, you can always rotate on the runway.
Okay.
I got it going just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
All right, here we go. Now this is the big one. We're going real slow. You see that?
Yeah.
If you got the rotor going, it could tip you over. So you want to go real slow when you're turning.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm actually going to speed this up. Now once it hits 100, so you see my sticks all the way forward?
Yep.
Here we go. And once it hits 100, I'm pulling the stick back. All right, there it is. I'm going to give a little bit of airspeed, or a little bit of power. And then when you let go, you give a big let go. And here we go. And I want to go fast, so I'm going to put this down like this. And our airspeed's climbing, you see that?
Yep.
Turning base, runway 15. Make it.
And we're off the ground. I'm going to take a little trim out. And see, this has got a turbo on it, so it kicks it in.
Yeah.
You feel that coming in?
Yeah, for sure. That was a better kick.
You can do that for 5 minutes.
Wow.
I'll pull back the trim. And so, like, you can sit here like this and go. Now you see how we're at 90, right?
Yep.
Put a little, get rid of some of this. Now hold on, here we go.
37, runway 15.
Woo! How was that?
That was very interesting. Yeah, it definitely has a very different feeling to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to Eagle's Nest. So we'll go. Now, you can. Sometimes, you know, you can use the stick. You just go over a little bit. But I'm going to tell you about one thing that you never do.
Okay.
I mean, you will die if you do this. There's no coming back.
Okay.
If I take my stick, okay, and I actually push it forward,
Okay.
that brings the rotor forward. You know, because right now when we're flying, the rotor looks like this. It's you know, because the air's coming through it, right?
Yeah.
But what will happen is if I push this stick forward, I will unload the rotor. So right now we got tension on the rotor.
Okay.
We're that little pendulum, you know, on that rotor.
Yeah.
And if I push this stick forward, I push the rotor system will flatten and we'll unload the rotor.
Oh.
And then we fall out of the sky. The rotor will actually go inverted and we'll go straight down.
Oh.
So the way that you saw, I mean, so if you want to descend, okay.
Mankato traffic wind state 73, 4.5 miles from the field over the Madison Lake water turn about 45 to downwind for 15 Mankato.
Okay, so now we see we're actually going to start a descent here.
Yeah, we got all kind of sinking a little bit there.
Yeah, see that? We're already at 300.
Yeah.
Pick up a little airspeed. And see, we're back already at the airspeed that we are.
Nice.
So if you want to descend, that's how you'd end up doing it. You don't push that stick forward.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if you do, bad things. And so it's the same thing as an airplane. It's kind of hands off. So right now, I'm seeing if she's falling.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of wind working on us, so I'm going to stick on that rudder just a little bit so we stay coordinated. I don't have the yaw string on here, so the yaw would tell you if you're yawing one way or the other.
Yep.
I want to go see this eagle's nest. I was going to ask about it one time.
Oh, cool. Is it just like a...
It's a little grass strip. There it is. It's in front of us at 12 o'clock high.
Yeah.
So we'll go out to Eagles. Now we're not going to land because we don't have permission to land.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have that. But this is a great way to just show, you know, how you can come into land versus flying through like a field right there.
Yeah.
Which we can do that too. So just like when you teach airplane or you teach helicopter, you always want to know where the prevailing wind is at.
Yep.
And the prevailing wind is what out? 220?
210.
210.
Yep.
Okay. So we're traveling, what, 164, so 210 is out of this direction?
Yeah.
Because you always want that, you know, the prevailing, it's just like with anything that you're teaching.
Yeah.
All right, so now what we're going to do is, we're about a mile out, it looks like, and we're just going to slow it down. Slow it down.
And we're going to hold our altitude. Our altitude is 2,000 right now.
Yep.
We're about 1,000 feet above the ground. And I want to make sure I step on that ball a little bit. And I don't want to lose any altitude, so I'm just going to hold it here.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Pull back just a little more.
And does it just drop then, or?
It'll start to drop, but we're going to add a little bit of power just to keep that prevailing wind to come through, right?
Yeah.
Here we are at 30 miles an hour. Now you see here comes that drop. You see it? We're starting to descend just a little bit.
Yeah.
73 turning base 15 Mankato.
Is it gonna be just like that, or is it gonna be a little bit more?
Now if I actually pull power and I hold it, if I pull power and I hold it, watch what happens. And watch how faster we sink.
Yeah. Faster now.
See that? And we point our, then we just would point our nose down. Got a power line there, so I'm watching out for that. Now here we go. We don't want to get above 65. I'm going to pull more power. Now I didn't get really crazy with you on it because I'm just showing to you. I don't want to scare, do any scaring.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right.
But since we can't land, I'm not going to land.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Different sight, I would say.
Yeah, it's a ways different sight picture. Or, you know, if you're flying along and it cuts power,
Yeah.
where are you going to land?
Just right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Now we're really looking for and see we got a power line coming.
Yeah.
And I don't want to scare anybody. And I'm looking for houses because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Mango traffic, Wind City 4, 2 miles out.
18 to the southeast and the southeast branch area, maneuvering 4,000 Mankato.
Now we got to be looking for lines that come out of the ground because there's one right there for a tile line.
Yeah.
So like I said, when you're flying this, or you're doing things like that, or even if you're coming into land, or you're doing a vertical descent, you don't want to, you always want to make sure that you know where you're at on that thing. So, like right here, if you're coming across on stuff like this,
Yeah.
you could actually have like deer come out. I want to stay away from that person and place and thing right over there.
Yep.
Oh, we got somebody there, so I don't like that, so I'm going to go full power. And right here we're at 50. And I'm just going to circle on up. We'll go up a little higher, and then I'll show you, we'll do a little something else. So when I was, just to show you what your rudders can do.
Okay.
So what do you, man, we're only in 1,000 feet, really?
How high can she go?
73 turning.
Some guys have taken up to 12, 15,000 feet. It's been crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not going to fly that high.
Okay.
There's no reason for me to do that.
No. And how much fuel does she burn an hour?
It only burns roughly 4 to 5.25 an hour. So
That's very
it's
economical, yeah.
very, yeah. And this can take 100 low lead, or it can take MoGas.
That's amazing.
And I think, don't quote me, I have to read the book, but I think it can take ethanol,
Oh.
which I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try.
Yeah.
I'd have to double check that though.
Okay.
And I think that's the reason why I say I don't know, because I would never try that.
No. There's bold pilots, but there's no bold old
Yeah,
pilots.
I'm not going to do that
Yeah.
stuff. I don't need to find out what my repair bill or my life is worth.
No.
Just again, even though you can do it,
Should you?
should I do it? All right, we'll go to 2,500, and then we'll just do a
Just a 360 or?
yes. And there's our 180 or 180,
That's pretty cool. Right on the dime.
right on a dime. Yep.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yep. And so if we'll just turn back around.
Kill.
This is how you know just to take it nice and slow, nice and slow. So you're at 50.
75 is on the downwind 15 Mankato.
And what it is the hardest part is staying that directional control. So we're actually gonna land here on this last number. So what do you think, Ibrahim?
I think it was amazing. Just like how it handles. I was expecting a little bit more abrupt movements and like maybe a little bit bumpy as well, but it was just stable. I was expecting it to move on me or something, you know.
Yeah.
It was just there, and it's not like an airplane where you kind of get those bumps, you get pushed by the wind a little bit, but it's just.
Well, you can get pushed by the wind, but it's you know, as you've learned, it's all about power, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's 100%.
Airspeed is king.
Airspeed is king, 100%. So
that was a very cool experience.
you just take her nice and easy. There's nothing that has to be hurried about it.
No.
But yeah, so when you asked about altitudes and all that, so you see where 500's at, and you see how close you can be to the airfield, and you see how you can hang out, and you can see everybody coming.
Yeah.
And they can fly over the top. You know, it's just as long as you're giving your position report.
Yeah.
Do not. I've heard of gyroplane cowboys. Yeah, I'm not a gyroplane cowboy. There's no reason to be crazy.
I could tell you're very safe and you know what you're doing too.
Yeah, we don't need an accident or an incident.
No, we don't.
All right,
That was
Ibrahim,
amazing.
enjoy that?
I did.
Well,
yeah.
you know,
An experience I would never forget.
when I got my CFI, I'll let you know all about it.
For sure, yeah.
All right, I'm going to shut this girl down.
That's it for this video. If you want to showcase an airplane here on the First Gen Pilot YouTube channel, click on the link in the description down below right now to sign up and we'll make it happen. Make sure to hit like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more of this series. Until next time, keep the blue side up. We'll see ya.